The Episcopal Church of Scotland has approved same-sex marriage in its churches. Its General Synod voted, to remove the requirement that marriage should be a union of one man and one woman. It's the first Anglican church in the United Kingdom to allow its ministers to conduct same-sex marriages. The Most Rev David Chillingworth, Bishop of St Andrews, Dunkeld and Dunblane, is the church's Primus. Good morning.
Good morning.
It was a tight vote, wasn't it? Just one vote in it in the House of Clergy?
Well, the Anglican requirement in these moments is for a two-thirds majority, and where, as we, in common with pretty well every other Anglican province, have the tension of different views within our life, it was never going to be other than a close vote. And I said consistently that it was not a foregone conclusion.
How will the process work? If you are a minister who wants to conduct same-sex marriages, can you now simply do that, or do you have to go through some kind of procedure first?
No, you can't. I mean, we have tried very hard to make sure that we carry this out in a way which is respectful to our differences. The Scottish Government has given us the option of what they call a process of individual nomination. The priest who wishes to carry out same-sex marriages is expected to have a conversation with his or her bishop about that. Is expected to provide evidence that the members of his vestry congregational committee, who are congregational trustees, have discussed it, are in favour. There is a minute. And the priest will be individually nominated to the registrar. Therefore, it will not be something that everyone is expected to do. There is not just the conscience clause in the new canon, but also this fact that the people who do not want to conduct same-sex marriages will simply not be nominated to do so. So there is more than adequate protection for conscience in all of that.
Do you think you may lose some ordinary people, some priests, perhaps even some parishes over this?
Well, we are very hopeful that if that is the case, it will not be large. There are congregations which will be thinking about this over the summer, but we have worked very hard at our relationships. Those who watch the debate will have seen exceptional graciousness from the conservative voices, but also from those who are very much in favour of this. A real determination to say to those who are deeply opposed how committed they are to carrying their conservative traditionalist view forward in the life of our church, and giving them space to hold that view and to flourish within it, because after all, to be perfectly honest, most of us carry the two views within our own mind and heart as well. And part of what isn't perhaps right about some of the reaction to this is the assumption that a province is all of one mind. Actually, we are all of divided mind.
It is, as you know, a very divisive issue within the Anglican communion as a whole. Is it something you've talked to Justin Welby about?
Yes, I met him last week, and we discussed it. He's very aware of where we were and of what might happen, and we shall continue to discuss it.
Well, are you at all worried that when he and the other primates of the Anglican Communion meet in October at Canterbury, you could face some kind of sanction, your church?
Well, that's entirely possible, and what happened in the primates meeting of January 16 was similar, and I think that kind of sanction consequence, frankly, is an expedient to try and hold the communion together. But I have set out in a response to the Secretary General a concern that the polity, the governance of the Anglican Communion is not quite as it is being set out. And I think the misunderstanding here is around an assumption that a province, whether it's us or the Episcopal Church of the United States, are all of one mind. The reality is that these conflicts are intra-provincial as well as inter-provincial, and I think that it would be helpful if we could all recognise that and realise that the way forward here is for each province to do as we've tried to do, which is to find a way of holding this difference together while moving forward.
We're going to come back to this subject later in the programme, but for the moment, David Chillingworth, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.